Hi Gemini, I hope you guys are doing well. This is going to be a general reading for Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the first 1 week actually, first 7 days of July. Okay, I'm going to be doing weeklies now, and we discussed the hell out of the eclipses in June, so we're going to just talk about what energies we're going to be facing as each week goes. So that first week, we only have to deal with that new moon at 10 degrees Cancer and that solar eclipse, the start of that. Not just, but you know what I mean. And then we have on the 7th, we have Mercury is going retrograde, 4 degrees Leo. But you know what? Don't worry about that because, as I always say, Mercury is retrograde half of our lives, and hey, we're used to that, right guys? Us Geminis, we are so used to that, being ruled by Mercury. You just have to know. Delays, right? Right? I think we're pretty skilled at working around things right now, having to do with that. So I'm going to pull a Celtic cross spread. Okay, starting off with the situation, the Six of Swords reversed, then we have the Eight of Swords. Going to do what's crossing us, then we have the Nine of Cups as far as the best to be achieved. Nine of Cups reversed. Two of Swords is the foundation. The Star is our recent past. Our near future. Six of Wands reversed. Three of Wands representing us, our external. Beautiful. The Sun. I don't care if it's reversed. I like that. Our fears. We have the Eight of Cups. Okay, Tower reverse is the outcome. No worries. It's okay. All right. Let's see what we end up getting from the Shaman Oracle. These are very hard to shuffle. Okay. All right. Let's see what we get. Coyote. Coyote. Okay. Gemini, what do we have going on here? Okay, so the Mystical Shaman Oracle that I pulled for us is Coyote, okay? And the Coyote is the symbol of the sacred trickster. He represents detours put in front of us. You know, detours put in front of you for growth and understanding by ensuring that things don't go as planned. You know, the Coyote brings the energy of divine deception, but it's really meant to set us free from the shackles that, you know, of that which doesn't serve a higher good. So sometimes, you know, it'll seem that, you know, you'll get everything that you want only to find out that the sacred trickster brings the opposite of what you actually hope for. So the lessons offered here may at first appear a bit confusing, but they are the most sacred and are truly for your highest good. So this indicates a time to pay attention to detours and disappointments that you might be feeling right now, for sure, because they are a true test of your faith. And you may find yourself lost and confused when it feels like you're going to feel like possibly that you're being led off course, off the path that you intended to travel on at this point, or that you intended to be traveling on at this point. But you may be being led into challenges just to ensure that you're ready to handle whatever it is that you have set in motion for this path of yours moving forward. This is a time of great growth and understanding, guys, for sure. You need to ask yourself if you're being seduced by what you think you desire right now. You know, could it be more the superficial or the spikely, you know, the sparkly, shiny aspects of your ambition or your goal, you know, that's leading you into this moment. Perhaps you feel that in order to get what you desire, you have to somehow compromise yourself or control others or manipulate situations to ensure that your goal is met. You know, this energy shows up to remind you that this lesson may be too painful to learn. So be aware of shallow waters right now. You know, something or someone might pretend to be deep or a certain way right now, but that doesn't make them so. So no matter how much they seem or it seems to be a certain way, superficially on the exterior, you know, it makes me think of that saying that not everything that glitters is gold. So just be be cautious about anything new, any kind of new situation that you're entering into. And this certainly does not only mean relationships, guys, because I do get a lot of questions about that. Absolutely not. This could be a new friendship that you formed. This could be a new job that you just started. It really could be anything. Anything new that you're getting into that really speaks to you, that you want on your path. Yeah. Okay, so the first card of the Celtic cross spread, and this indicates the situation right now, is we have the Six of Swords reverse, and this is a Mercury in Aquarius energy that combines like the present and the future in a way that allows us to move forward. So this indicates moving on from a situation or a relationship, but it's the type of moving away that's more of an escape, but your plans are delayed right now because certain problems and issues need to be addressed and resolved before you can freely leave. So this can have to do, like I said, anything having to do with any relationship. So it could be your intimate relationship, friendship, family relationship even, or work. This energy does warn for you to check that your intentions are solid and that you are looking in the right direction to move forward. Rather than focusing on a very specific outcome, which can end up blinding you to other possibilities or other options that might be available to you right now. You don't want to hyper focus on any one thing. So keep your plans and your decisions very realistic and stay open. More than anything, stay very open right now. You're definitely going to be feeling a little frustrated by the lack of progress, but stay focused and grounded, and your time will come to make the moves that you want to make. If you still want to make them after this energy passes, because Mercury is retrograde, so there are delays everywhere. So it does depend on how this is resonating with you, And then as far as the energy that is crossing you, we have the Eight of Swords, which is a Jupiter in us. It's a Gemini energy. And as I've mentioned in past readings, the first decan of Gemini is ruled by Jupiter, which is the planet of growth and expansion. Normally we would, think that this would be a good thing, right? In theory, Jupiter could give, our intellect a run for its money, give us lots of room to roam around in our mind to be free. But Gemini, right, guys, we really don't need any help in this area since we're typically surrounded by more things than we can handle at any one given time, right? So Jupiter is actually in detriment in Gemini, right? And the Eight of Swords really does illustrate this problem. As the woman in the card is paralyzed by possibility. Look at her. I mean, she's surrounded by many options, but she can't see the forest for the trees. She's trapped in a mental prison of her own making. She's stuck in the middle of Jupiter's Wheel of Fortune. And she's alone too because she's separated from her companion on the Lover's card. Because, the Lover's card is the Gemini card. She doesn't have her Gemini soulmate along to keep her company. But the swords that surround her exist solely in her mind. And her bondage is short-lived because this is a minor arcana. Okay? But important to know here too is how this represents the process of initiation and recognition as we awaken, that, we're being awakened now. We're being initiated into this new way of living. And this is occurring because we're being forced to assess our situations right now and to focus on our goals in a way that we haven't been. It's very different for us, which I think is entirely positive, really. Okay, and then the best to be achieved out of this current situation is the Nine of Cups reverse, which is a Jupiter and Pisces energy. And when this card is reverse, ego is stepping in. Ego stepping in, self-centeredness, emotional disconnection. It's typical. Narcissism is typically indicated here. When you're faced with another's inability to see beyond their own immediate needs. And this can affect personal and professional relationships, which might suffer right now as others forge ahead with their own agendas for their own short-term gain, leaving you behind and bruised. However, it's also worth asking yourself, though, just because of the way these energies work, energy doesn't understand the boundaries, if you are the one overstriving for recognition. Maybe walking over others in the process. It's just a question to ask, it can't hurt to ask. But in both personal and work projects, things seem a little murky. And murky is kind of like the word I'm using for July, just because not everything is totally clear. Just because of the eclipse stuff and the retrogrades, and we have all of this stuff going on. We had, you know, what's opposing Saturn? We got Sun in Cancer opposing Saturn, and Sun in Cancer trining Neptune, and we got squares, square in Chiron. We have all this stuff going on. So yeah, we have kind of like this murky view of things going on right now, and things might seem that way due to misunderstandings, and your plans might be delayed right now. Creativity might feel a little stifled right now, or you might feel a little unmotivated with like this, you know, these start and stop kind of situations, and this may not be the best time for your ideas to come to fruition. But again, guys, we're talking about a week, so, you know, give or take on either side of the energy. But this is not a long-term thing, but this concepts are being compromised in this energy. But again, minor arcana, not going to last, so just hibernate, chill out a little bit until you feel that spark of motivation and forward movement returning again, okay? And then in your foundation energy, we have the Two of Swords reverse, which is a Moon and Libra energy. And in reverse, this typically indicates deception and being blind to someone's manipulation. And this does feed into what we talked about with the Coyote Oracle, right? This applies particularly to partnerships, which can be love, but it can also just be friendships or business. It's anything in your career. And really the key here is your intuition. Because if your intuition is telling you that someone is dishonest, pay attention and look into why you're feeling that way. Because there's an opportunity here to act, but timing is sensitive. And the message here is to not delay. So there's definitely like this low vibration of dishonesty going on here that you're going to have to pay attention to, which is really annoying that we have to pay attention to that. But the thing is this, Geminis really do have to pay attention to that, because we do tend, and I did discuss this in the last video, we can be very deluded, meaning not as in a crazy way, but we can wear those rose-colored glasses, guys, right? And we can choose subconsciously not to recognize something, because we're busy looking at other things, you know? So we just have to be careful of that. Okay, now in our past, we have the Star card, which, you know, I love this energy. This offers hope and guidance. So if things had been feeling like really difficult, many of you started in this recent past, things started changing for the better. It's a powerful symbol of hope that allows you to begin appreciating everything that life has to offer, including better physical health, better spiritual well-being. You know, this indicates that your projects at work and your relationships, you just found like you were able to express yourself more easily, sharing your love and your gifts and your talents, you know. In relationship, the star shows that, you know, you're definitely destined to be with someone. That's time to find a soulmate, right? Like, too bad we can't like dial one up, but the energy here is very much supportive of that. Other existing relationships I'm getting, you know, were relatively calm during this time. The star typically brings some money luck, as well as work you do begins to pay off as you consider your long-term goals, you know, where you were in a space of giving attention to what really mattered the most. So this was you starting to come out of a darker period that led up to that recent past, okay? And then in the near future, we have the Six of Wands reverse. So this is a Jupiter and Leo energy, and this doesn't surprise me or bother me at all, okay? Because, okay, this does indicate that what you've been hoping for, or at least what you've been trying to manifest, doesn't materialize right now, but it's not being canceled, it's just being delayed. So I'm not surprised at that, you know, so don't worry about that. Just stay focused on your goals. So wait for the news to come in. This may be a frustrating time, but things are beyond your control and not a reflection of your own abilities. So you just need to know that. The message here is for you to be as patient as you can right now. Distract yourself for the time being with other tasks that you might have going on. But, you know, and others of you may go through a time where you feel let down by someone, where your confidence ends up taking a little bit of a hit, most likely by someone who's pretty arrogant and very self-impressed. It's very inflated sense of self. But regardless of how this energy impacts you, it's a minor arcana, and most likely by someone who's pretty arrogant. Yeah, and very impressed with themselves. Yep. But this is a passing energy, so don't worry about it too much. Just don't. So we have in the position representing you, we have the Three of Wands energy, okay, which is one of Tarot's good fortune cards. It's a Sun and Aries energy. This indicates successful endeavors and seeing your projects and relationships thrive. It's also a great indicator for weddings and a new important relationship in your life. It suggests a very busy and intense time of activity. So be prepared to be very inundated with text messages and emails and calls and even visitors and, invitations to hang out, that kind of thing. Now, this card, for many of you, it's often an indicator of an imminent trip away and seeing your plans realized, whether those are travel plans, business plans, a wedding, other projects that you've been nurturing, general reading, however this would apply. This is also a great time for communication and self-expression through anything creative, any outlet that's creative. And this energy also favors individuality and non-conformism. So you might be drawn to very unconventional people at this time, where you're going to feel very comfortable to let out your quirks and the eccentric side of yourself for others to see and appreciate. And the only challenge about this energy is the need to keep balance between staying focused on your goal while remaining patient, calm, and in the moment, because there is still this waiting element that's going on. But again, this is going on for all the signs, but it's hitting us a little harder, of course, because we're ruled by Mercury. Us in Virgo are ruled by Mercury. And then we have the external influence, which is the Sun. This is my favorite card in the deck. Because even when it's reversed, it's entirely positive. It's just so beautiful. Look at how bright the sun is. It's just total illumination, It's all about success and achievement. And really is, if you've been having a challenging time and the sun shows up, every aspect of your life is set to improve. And you'll also enjoy more energy. If you or someone close to you has been suffering through any kind of health problem. It could be physical, it could be mental, it doesn't matter. This does indicate a return to good health. The only glitch here with the reverse is that there could be a delay to certain plans. But, you're still going to be enjoying a very happy and content time regardless. And, but, who cares again about this delay thing, guys? Again, we're ruled by Mercury. So of course we're going to feel like this, like we have cement shoes on, but it doesn't mean that good things aren't happening to us. It just takes a little longer for us to get to it right now. This is everybody. I've been calling this is going to be like the month where like you're laying in your bed and your bedroom door is across the room and you want to quick run out of your bedroom, but you can't because you have all this stuff in the middle of the room that you have to climb over and climb around and, and so you're going to get there. It's just, you have to get over some things first, and it's going to take you a little longer. It's just the best way of looking at it. Okay, and here in your fear position, we have the Eight of Cups, which indicates to me a fear of restlessness. Like you guys are afraid of restlessness. You have this how do I explain it? There's this very definitive low-grade fear that's just working in you right now, and it is sort of rearing its head as a kind of restlessness because you feel like something is missing from your life. Even though, you work and your relationships, things are seemingly harmonious from the outside, your intuition is nagging. You just feel something is going to happen. You're almost like you're waiting for the shoe to drop. And you're fearing that because what you don't want to do during this time, okay? I feel like a bunch of you out there right now are fearing having this cut and run attitude. Where beautiful things are manifesting for you right now, absolutely. And you're afraid that as these beautiful things are manifesting for you, that you're going to pull a cut and run because you're feeling restless and you're feeling afraid and you're feeling insecure and you're feeling like something is going to end up not working out. So if I try to end it and run away, I'm ending it, so it's going to hurt less in the end. That kind of sensibility. And the thing is that it's happening so under the surface that it's again, just rearing its head as a restlessness. So you really want to control any hasty decisions right now. Try not to allow yourself to fully move into that space right now of wanting to fully leave a situation. It's going to serve you to wait and see how things roll out. This doesn't mean that if you're in an unhealthy situation, you shouldn't leave. Naturally, you have free will and you need to do what's ultimately best for you. But if you're in a decent situation in your relationship and in your job, but you just feel this restlessness, wait for the central point in the eclipses to pass and wait for Mercury to go direct in August before making any really big decisions to leave a situation. Right? Because as we see in this outcome card, you're really not going to have to make the decision. Something is going to ultimately end that's not serving you anyway. And you're always best to let it end up getting to this point. I'm going to tell you why. There's no question when the tower hits that something is done. And we'll talk about what the reverse means. But this is a March energy, okay? And those of you who've been watching me for a couple of months now know that I don't actually fear or hate the tower, whether it's upright or reverse. Yes, the tower indicates dramatic change and often refers to breakups or breakdowns and the collapsing of structures, or a structure at least, that was considered at one time very stable, such as a relationship, a home, a career. But at the same time, it symbolizes the destruction of false ideas and beliefs, and it's a purging of these negative energies from our life that were not serving us anyway. So ultimately, the tower is one of purification and self-protection, as this old way of thinking and doing is torn down so that a renovation can begin that's much healthier for us. You know, with this being a Mars energy, it's important to note that Mars is associated with confidence and power, and it symbolizes sexuality and stamina and strength. You know, Mars rules Aries, which is the sign of leadership and action, right? So this is entirely positive. So along with that first house, where those of us who are into astrology, that's where we look for information about self-image and physical appearance. So these are great spaces to make changes in. And the fact that it's reversed only tells me that whoever this is resonating with, it finds themselves taking responsibility for this collapse, even though you're blameless. This indicates a relationship or career or a project that was simply not strong enough to stand the test of time, guys. It's like you've clung to the past to protect yourself from reality. All right. And the thing is, when you do that, your fears end up materializing here. But this is absolutely nothing to be afraid of, because the tower's collapse is inevitable. So you can't feel responsible for forces that are outside your control. You can't. Right? And anyway, whatever fell apart here was not good for you in the first place. And remember, the renovation that follows this immediately is a very important component of this energy. So try your best to focus on the rebuilding of whatever falls apart or has fallen apart, rather than focusing on the falling apart. Focus on the rebuilding. Because for many people, the tower moment, like for me, as a Gemini, my tower moment happened already. Okay, and many of you can resonate with that. But the thing is, the culmination and the full extent of the tower doesn't happen like that. You still have to deal with significant residue for a while. And, you know, that's just part of the process. It's part of the energy. But this is a necessary cleansing, necessary clearing out to make space for this, the amazing things that we're manifesting for ourselves, guys. Because it's really happening now. I'm really going to see, wait until you guys see over the next 6 months especially, just the wonderful changes that are going to be happening for you guys. So focus on that and focus on the rebuilding and not the falling apart. Because honestly, guys, you got the sun. There's a lot of support here. There really is. There's some delay, and yes, we have that, but we have so much other beautiful energy here to support us moving forward. So I really like that. Yeah. All right, Gemini, that is what I have for you guys for this first week of July. I'll see you guys next week for the second week in July. Until then, take care, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.